If anybody doesn't know who I am, my name is Phil McNichol, and I'm new to Sun Valley, and I'm working with the Ski Education Foundation. I spent 12 years with our ski team on the men's side, and most of that, at least half of that time at the end as the head men's coach. And I had a tremendous opportunity to work with many great athletes. I have to say every athlete that came across my view screen was a phenomenal athlete and a phenomenal individual. And we had lots of success, which is great, but we also had amazing time together. And I'll never forget it, and I hope some of these athletes that you're going to have the pleasure to meet and talk with, you can actually learn a little bit about their journey, because they have great stories. And it is an amazing journey to get anywhere in life when you follow your dreams. So without any more delay, if I can have you guys hop up on the stage again. Will Brandenburg, Tommy Ford, Dane Spencer, and Hailey Duke. Okay, this is also going to be a litmus test on how well these elite athletes can speak to a crowd. So instead of me telling you where they're from, how old they are, how long they have been or still are on their World Cup and national team journey, and a little bit about their past, I'm going to just give it the mic to them. They're going to introduce themselves, and then I'm going to have a few questions for them, and we're going to get maybe some free form so that we can talk a little bit about what they were doing when they were young and what they're doing now.
Hi. How's it going? How many people are here from McCall? Yeah. That's where I started racing. 8 years old, McCall ski racing team. So you're starting in the right spot. I skied a lot of powder there, so find that. Bogus Basin. Is Bogus here? Yeah, skied there too. I skied all around Idaho. I was actually born in Sun Valley. I lived here until I was 5. Took my first trampoline dollar. It was awesome. Moved to McCall, started racing there. Moved to Boise, raced there. Park City. And then I made the national team at 21 years old, which sometimes people think that's a little older. Don't worry about it. Just do your thing. So yeah, I made the team when I was 21. First year, Europa Cup year. Did well, won a couple of Europa Cups. I think I was 4th overall in the standings by the end of the season. Moved on to World Cup. Had some good results there. Some really good runs. Apparently you have to put 2 together, so I'm still working on that. You'll always work on that. So I did well, went on to World Cup, had some top 10s. We're gonna sit down because we've been skiing all day. How many of you guys did a recovery? Because I just ended with that one. Anyone? Work on that. So I was on the national team for 5 years with the Vancouver Olympics. And now I'm racing, this is my 3rd season as an independent, racing for the US on the World Cup circuit. So, yeah. I didn't have the easiest road, but it's mine, and I'm proud of it. My first year, once I was cut from the US ski team, I decided to pursue it. I had my own World Cup spot through the NORAMs. And I ended up raising all the money, going through the summer, building up, getting strong, and then a couple weeks before the first World Cup, I found out I had a tumor on my pituitary. Tried to get through the season, couldn't, ended up having brain surgery now a little over a year and a half ago. Last season was my comeback season, so I hit the NORAM circuit again and earned my World Cup spot back as my comeback season. So now I'm looking at a full season of slaloms on the World Cup. I just got back from Levy, and now I'm heading to Aspen tomorrow after I train with you little folks on that. So.
Cups, but have slalom World Cups and some Super G success. And a few downhills, ran that Persian crate. In my off seasons, I've gone to school at Dartmouth and continued my education through college and getting close to graduating, but still chipping away at it. It takes time, but keep going.
Everyone having fun up there? It's pretty epic training, right? I'm Brandenburg. I grew up in Spokane, Washington. I actually started skiing. I was born in Walla Walla, Washington. Started skiing at a little place called Bluewood, and raced against the McCall people when I was a really little kid. And then I moved to Spokane and made the ski team at 19 from Schweitzer, northern Idaho. So I love Idaho skiing like everyone else here, I think. I was on the US ski team for 8 years, and this season is my first season as an independent like Hailey. So I'm here in Sun Valley training with you guys, and in between racing a little World Cup slalom. So I've raced every discipline on the World Cup, actually other than Super G, and raced in the Olympics in Super Combined, and but slalom's kind of where my heart is, so that's what I'm racing now. So yeah, that's my story.
Hi, I'm Dane Spencer, and I'm coaching here now. My second year has been a really awesome experience so far. I'm not going to go into the racing stuff too much because I'm old now. About my ski team career ended about the time these guys started up. I was on the team for 12 years. I had some awesome time, a lot of them fulfilled. Great experience. In 2010, I retired and got an offer to coach the national team. So I coached Rover Cup World Cup. Both these guys for 3 seasons. Awesome experience and a really nice transition from a long, hard career of racing. And then last season, I got invited to come up here and coach the fifth elite level, and yeah, it was awesome. Real educational for me, but it's been cool to be able to try to transition stuff I learned not only in racing but also from coaching my years in the national team, just helping anyone I can. So I spent a lot of time doing prep periods, a long time, and this is as good as it gets. To be able to have this kind of space with this smaller crowd and everyone be, as relaxed and have such a good atmosphere, it's getting better. So thanks.
Okay, I wasn't going to do this, but I had to because Dane was so quick. All right. I guess he's shy. But he had an amazing career on the national team. And ski racing can be a challenge. Do we agree? Ski racing can be a challenge. Ski racing can teach you about adversity, immense adversity. And it's up and it's down. Sometimes it's way up and sometimes it's way down. So I'll tell you a quick story before I give it back to these guys. I was at the Olympics in 2006 and experiencing a tremendous ski racing high. Ted Ligety, as a young man, just won his gold medal in combined. And I was walking to a celebration that we were doing at the USA House, and I got a call from my European Cup coach, Tim LaMarche, you probably know. And Dane Spencer was racing in NORAM in Big Mountain, Montana. Yeah. And he had just give it up. He had just crashed in a NORAM downhill and fractured his neck. Hangman's fracture, I forget which vertebrae, C2, the one that usually you don't come back from. And he open book fractured his pelvis. All right, he was beat up real bad. So that's what can happen, up and down. All right, but this guy is obviously put himself all back together. But when I talk about adversity and perseverance and hard work, which this sport will teach you, hopefully you don't have to be hurt or injured, but we do have a risky sport, all right? But being strong, being focused, and committed to the process is the best way to navigate through that little obstacle course. But Dane came all the way back. They weren't even sure, if he should be skiing again. And he brought himself all the way back to the World Cup. So, I think y'all, give her a big hand. Pretty amazing. That's pretty amazing stuff. So, I've got a couple questions. I hope I'm going to do this all right. I don't know if my questions are good. You guys might have to help me. All right? But I think it would be possibly enlightening to share. You guys went into more detail, some more than others, but I would say in the room, we get pretty focused on what we're doing with ski racing. Gets to be a big part of our lives, between 12 and 15. And maybe you guys could share with the group, why ski racing really drew you in, because it does, right? It does become that thing that the only thing you really want to give everything to. And what you were doing, were you winning races? Were you just, one of the many, or one of the few, or where were you? What were you doing? Who wants to field this? Oh, come on, guys, let's get in there.
I'm the talker. I also grew up doing another sport, Taekwondo. Probably a lot of people in Sun Valley took it from my dad too, because he was the instructor. But I grew up, and right around 15, I was doing really well in Taekwondo. I was at U.S. team trials twice, just kind of trying to make the U.S. team as a young kid. And my results were not there with skiing. But it kind of came down to the point where there was only so many hours in the day to do one or the other, and I ended up doing skiing. I chose skiing over Taekwondo, and it wasn't because of the results. It wasn't because, oh, this is, treating me better, because it wasn't. I was really awkward and probably couldn't roll up my ski for the life of me. But I chose it, and that was my path, and I'm glad I did, because now I'm sitting right here with you guys. And I'm in some really good company. I'm skiing for Sun Valley, so it kind of it works out. But go with what you want to do, not with what you're just good at the time.
Awesome.
I grew up playing all sorts of sports, mainly soccer and skiing though, but I've always been drawn to skiing at a young age. I almost feel more comfortable skiing than walking, and I'm just drawn to the feeling of it, and I've been psyched to get up in the morning and get to the hill, and no matter the weather, it's even rainy days, I've been out there skiing that hood. It's like, hey, it's actually pretty good. It's like corn snow, and I don't know, I have a lot of fun just skiing around and rolling up the ski and bending it and feeling the forces you get. I'm drawn to that feeling, and that's what keeps me going.
I kind of grew up in a family of swimmers, actually, and I was like in the pool a lot when I was little, and I finally realized. I told my parents, I was like, I really like the meets, but I don't so much like the practice. So can I just do the meets? And my dad said, no, you have to practice a lot for swimming, or you're not going to be very good. So I said, well, then let's go skiing, because skiing's fun when you practice and when you race. So, and that was at 6 years old, and I've been doing it ever since. I played a ton of sports growing up. I actually played high school football and continued to play football through my senior year of high school. So I wasn't just a ski racer, but that was where my main focus was, and where my love for sport really is. And I like ski racing because I'm an unbelievably competitive person, and it lets me kind of take my competitive nature out in a sport that's very individual. So yeah, that's what I like to do.
So I grew up skiing in Bogus. I mean, ever since I was, my parents took me on too. My dad grew up in LA, and he wanted to learn how to ski, so we went a lot. Did that drive. Well, at least 20,000 times. He took me up on the hill, at a young age, and even 5. I mean, Bogus is small, but they were going everywhere. And I just had to kind of figure it out. I think at some point he wanted a little more freedom, so he shoved me into Mighty Mites, and that's when I started racing at age 6. And kind of went from there. I mean, for whatever reason, I just was talented at it, and was pretty successful from a young age. It was funny, looking back, there would be one year he'd be really, kicking butt, and then the next there would be some guy who grew like 6 inches, and he was kicking my butt. It's just kind of back and forth, not how you grew up, but I had like these guys did a lot of sports growing up, other sports, mostly team stuff, and one thing I really liked about racing, ski racing, was it's very individual, on race day, but the rest of the time there's a really big team component, and we had a really good group of guys and girls at Bogus, and then I also did a lot of training through the year, and as I went up the ranks and went to like Western Region especially, we had a really strong contingent from Idaho that really went a long way. So not that many made it to the national team, but a lot of those guys went on to do more in college and did really well. So it was pretty cool to grow up over.
All right, let's see, where we're going to go with this. In terms of, when you're young, ski racing, right? And you've all talked about it already. You have to, at some point, make a decision. All right. When did you guys really start to decide that this wasn't just fun practice and just that great feeling bending the ski, which skiing has such an amazing ability to continue to give you that kind of fuel, that passion, so to speak. And if you guys don't know this already, I mean, you gotta. It's an amazing gift when you can follow your passion, and it can actually take you, this late in your life. So you have to just be fortunate just for that. But when did you guys start to realize that, I'm going to turn this love into just a lot of hard work, and I'm going to have to make some sacrifices, and is it paying off? Do you look back and go, yeah, what's ski racing really given to you, and has it been a value proposition across the board?
I'd say about age 12 is when I knew that was about the time when it was going to take that next level of commitment for me. In terms of being more focused. Yeah, like call it conditioning now. I don't know what I called it then. Running around like an idiot. We always kept other sports going, but at about that age, you started having to integrate other things, more specific like workouts, and then just again, it's like that about the time you start growing a lot, you realize you got to get more focused to keep up with your competitors, and you don't necessarily know what they're doing. Like it's all summer, all fall, you don't see any of these kids, and all of a sudden it's race time, and you don't know who's going to show up. So all you can do is just do everything you can to be prepared, to do the best you can, and see how they stack up.
I can't give you the exact age because I have no clue. But I know I remember watching Tommy Moe win the gold medal, and I thought, man, that'd be freaking sweet if I could win a gold medal. And that, 94, there you go. And yeah, Lily Humper. And I remember that's kind of when the dream started. And that kind of, every day I went, and I had the dream, but then I just kind of kept racing because I liked skiing, and kind of kept hitting the markers along the way that allowed it to, kind of start making the dream closer and closer and closer to reality. And, I'm still chasing that dream, I guess, but I've learned so much more throughout the journey than I ever could have imagined because of one small dream that started it all. So I think I think you go after a prize, and then sometimes you realize that the prize is actually within the path that you're taking. So it's a lot of fun, and I'm stoked to still be ski racing.
It's kind of hard to answer that question. Yeah, I was probably in early high school when I stopped playing as much soccer. I had more time, and I was skiing a lot more, and had a good coach, Ken Collerton, and he was kind of introduced me to a conditioning program, and realized like, oh, if I get stronger, I can ski more like I want to. Like I'm seeing Herman Meyer on TV, and this guy's a beast, and it's like plowing through gates, and it looks like so much fun. And I was like, I remember his crash in Nagano, he like flips upside down in the downhill, and he's like basically vertical, and thinks he's gonna make next gate. So like that's what he says to the interviewer. And there's no chance. He goes straight to the V net, like 3 layers of V net, and then gets up, walks away, and wins a Super G the next day. And like the others just like, whoa, that guy is strong. It's like I want to get strong. I want to be able to do that. And I worked hard at that, and eventually like started moving through the ranks, and like made the Western Region team, like going over to Europe to train. But I remember missing my first Chile trip because I fell and broke my collarbone skateboarding, and that hurt. And I was sitting on the couch like, dang, I want to go to Chile. They just got 3 feet of powder. I wasn't, so I healed up pretty quick. I was young and bones healed. Make sure you get set right. But from there, I got really strong. This was leading into the J2 National year, and I was like moving the last year was the J2, which was 16. Do something, and I got strong that year and had success. I made the team, J2 National team, and then it was actually here in Sun Valley, and I won every event, and overall everything, just what I wanted to do. And it was amazing. I set my goal, did it, and then I moved on to make big steps the next few years up to World Cup in the Olympics in 2010, and just kind of career just took off. Kind of got a lot of experience and got my eyes open on all different types of courses. And this is kind of off the track question, but I'll just continue here. After just racing on the circuit for about 4.5, 5 years, I was free skiing between races and hitting a tree and breaking my femur. And that's where I'm recovering from right now. This is kind of return to season. This 2 seasons. Return to racing this year. And I'm on, again, coming back, and I need to get extra strong. I want to get beyond where I was. I was at like top 20s, top 15s here and there. But I want to start winning. It's going to take some time, so I have time to get my strength right and progress at a slower rate than is typically prescribed by most physicians and therapists and coaches. So listen to your body, and you'll
This is a really hard question, just because I really don't ever remember myself. And I don't know. Yeah, you can hit me with another one.
I think another really great question would be, you guys are all the way at the top, right? In figs, disparity from where it started, where the folks are sitting. But how much do you guys rely on doing drills, working on skills, working on basics, working on tactics, working on all that stuff? I remember what we had to do with, skiers that were the best in the world. But what's your guys' opinion on that? Because I think that's something that parents and kids think about all the time. Like, why am I doing this out there? Why are we skiing around 2 poles and not 1? Why are we doing this? I want to go ski racing.
That's a good question. The cool part about being an independent is the fact that you get to build all of that yourself. You get to choose exactly how you're going to progress through. I mean, luckily I have Erica here. Thank you, Erica Hogan, sitting by the bar. She's been helping me kind of get back on there. We always have to go back to the basics because my arms love to fly, and I like to drag my hands and do all the fun stuff that you guys like to do. And I'll be working on that until I'm done skiing. But really, it just depends on what you need to be working on. So, I mean, there's every direction you can take, every drill you can do, you can just throw a whole bunch at you, but the cool part, for me at least, is that I can take control and go fix exactly what I need to go fix. Take total responsibility of my career and my skiing, and I don't have to go ask somebody if I need to, do this drill or how many times I need to lift this. It's like, if I'm gonna go figure it out, I gotta go do it. So I get to pick apart my skiing, see where my weaknesses are, which sometimes is very apparent most of the time. And then I can go out there and if I need to go do drills, cool. If not, you go fix it right in the course. A lot of it is, tactics. Sometimes if you give yourself enough room, it's amazing what turn you'll make. So really it all depends on you and how much responsibility you want to take over your skiing itself, or depend on a coach or somebody else to do it. I recommend doing it yourself.
Drills are ingrained good habits. Just keep doing like these weird ones where you're holding your hands up. That's just like giving you a feeling, like an exaggerated feeling of what it's like when you're going faster, and just keep practicing it. The more your body will do it automatically. On race day, that's what you're hoping. It's just like kind of automatic skiing, just it all happening. But that takes a lot of practice. So I'm still doing drills. I'm racing World Cup, and here I am, Sun Valley, sitting with you guys, and still doing drills on this flat down here. Like I was doing some javelin drills. And it just helps me find my balance, connect my ankles to my head, and just keep practicing. I don't know if that makes sense, but they're helpful.
Have you guys all been doing drills down there? I think I've seen some. Who's been skiing on one ski? Nice. Me too. Yeah, do you guys know why you're skiing on one ski? Bounce? Sweet. Alright, I think one of the things when I was little is I did a ton of drills, but I never really asked my coaches why. So maybe keep asking your coaches why you're doing that. What's the point? Where is this helping in my skiing? And I think I started to realize that more and more. And like these guys, I think everyone does drills. I see Hersher before the race doing drills. So, Henrik Christofferson, who just won the Levy World Cup. He was doing drills before the race. So it doesn't stop. And I think everyone, if you really start understanding why you're doing them, maybe it helps you get better a little bit quicker.
Yeah, I just want to reiterate what he just said. I mean, a lot of you guys are pretty young and learning a bunch of new drills now, and it's hard to see how it relates to what you're doing. But the good thing is that you learn them now, and they get ingrained, and you figure out how to keep integrating them into your skiing and improve upon them. And you have you'll end up with a set number of drills really work for you, and you will keep those for your entire career. I was just out in Colorado a week ago, and I was watching Ligety, Ted Ligety was training slalom. He was ripping. It was the best slalom I'd seen him ski in a long time, and I spoke to his coach and was giving him high fives when he said, like, nice work. And he kind of laughed. He said, I came out this morning and he was just whining about how snow was bad, and the course was sucked, this and that. And finally, his coach Forrest had enough. And he's like, listen, the problem is you're not skiing that well. Why don't you do some drills? Get that number one ski stuff that didn't really work for you. And Ted actually did it, which was tough. It's tough to get through if they can do that, but he did it, and it instantly improved his skiing. He came out and had a great day. So, I guess the thing is you can make it all the way to the top, but you still need that stuff, and it's you get a little off, and it's really help you get reset. So keep doing it.
Awesome. If you haven't if you haven't seen, obviously everybody's quite impressed, as I am, with young Michaela Schifrin, who it's taken about 30 years. I think Diane Roth was the last girl that, at least from this country, so young, so good. It's very, very, very rare. But she's got some great videos online, on YouTube, doing drills, and also talking about the message about fundamentals. And for her, unbelievable at a very young age, where usually people aren't overly self-motivated or mature. She actually talks about how when she realized that the drill was for her, that fundamental skiing was something that she needed to have ownership of, and really spend her time to be a master of those mechanics and those movements, it exponentially accelerated her career. So they're really cool, they're great videos too, of her doing some drills and some other of her young colleagues from where the academy she went to. So that being said, awesome. I think we're going to now jump down and take some questions. I'm going to need to also see who else is good speaking on a microphone. So instead of just barking it out, come on up here so you get to meet the individual you'd like to ask your question to, and we'll field some questions. And if you're really too shy to do that, you can actually face the other direction and say your question to that wall. We'll see if we hear you. Come on up here. Come on up here.
Yeah.
I'm Tor.
Where are you from? Here. That's Sun Valley.
Sun Valley.
Right on. What do you want to ask a question to? All of them? One of them? Go ahead.
As your skier who fell off the ice and had to ski the rest of the course for
I've seen Brody do that. That's right. I think I finished the last couple gates on my ski, but I do have a pretty funny story about losing my ski. I was a super combined, and I had a pretty good super G race, and I was going back for my slalom section. This was in Maribel, France, in the Europa Cup. And it starts out pretty flat, and it goes really steep. It's injected, slick ice. I need to finish to get my super G result. That's kind of the rules back in the day. And I ski the first 6 gates and hook my tip, and the ski falls off. Right at the steep part, it started taking off. So I go down after it and catch it before it goes too far on one ski. And I get that ski in my hand out, run up the hill, put it back on, and then ski the rest of the course. And I'm exhausted by half of it. And I'm just like lapsing, barely finishing. And I get through, and I get my super G result. But apparently you can do that as long as you don't, no one else helps you.
Thanks, Cora. Okay, now, come on up here now. That's what I like to see.
I'm Anna. Hall. What's the hardest work he's ever done?
There's a lot of them. I guess every year, who's done the medals test? They still do the medals test? No, apparently not. Lucky. They used to have this awesome, fun test, and every year it would fall on my birthday. And so every year on my birthday, I thought I was going to puke by the end, because they'd always end with the mile. They'd start with like the 440s, like, 400, sorry, that's one lap, and then you do multiple sprints, and then max push-ups, sit-ups, vertical jump, box jump, which when you're really young, it's like this tall, but when you get older, it's a little bit shorter. And then they end with the mile, and I just remember I mean, just killing myself on it, just trying to get 100% on everything, and then almost booting by the end of. And then I was like, "Happy birthday to me." So yeah, that was probably it every year.
You guys gotta scream into the mic and bring it right up like this so everyone in the back can hear you, okay? All right. Will, the word is everyone in the back thinks you're doing the best with the mic. All right? So keep that in mind when you guys come up. Come on up here, young lady.
I'm Nicole, and I'm from McCall. How many hours a day do you practice?
Like practice skiing or like what are we talking about? Skiing, all of it. Let's see. Today we got on a lift at 9, got off at 1, ate lunch, worked out, and I barely made this thing. So I don't know how many hours that was, but that was today. But yeah, during the weekdays at the gym. The normal days Tommy and I had, we both trained together all summer, or most of the summer. And we would get to the gym about 8:30, start our warm-up, have our first workout fully done at about 12:30, eat lunch, 12:30 to 1:30, nap time for about a half hour, back to the gym at 2:30 to do our second workout, and we're done around 5. So that was like consistently 4 or 5 days a week. So yeah.
Yeah, and then skiing for these guys at the World Cup, one session, sometimes 2 sessions a day, and that would last not dissimilar to this, anywhere from 2 to 4 hours in a session, depending on how challenging the turnaround time is and all of that, depending on how long the courses are, anywhere from 6 to 15 runs, there's a big variety depending on whether you're going for volume or you're going for, intensity and quality. There's a lot that goes into it, but it's a lot of time. Who else has a question? Please. And coaches, parents, anybody that would like to ask a question, come on up.
I'm Camden and I'm from Bogus. Have you ever gone scared of a course?
Okay, the question was, have you ever been scared of a course? Who's taking that?
Yeah, so one of the scariest races I ever had was here, and it kind of goes into the story also about losing your ski. So when I was 9, it was like the first time I really traveled to race, and it was here. And we raced GS. Now, when you guys go up the lift, there's the Run Canyon, where you see it's what's off the left. We had GS out of Roundhouse Restaurant straight down that. At age 9, that was not like Bogus. And I skied on K2s, and I had the old markers that had to pull up the Rotomat lining. And about 10 gates in, it fell off. And I actually skied around the next gate and picked it up, and put it back on, which was cool. But then I crashed 3 more times. And it was petrifying. I was petrified. And that was at a young age. And then, it goes from there. It's, once you get up to, I was never a great downhill skier, so those always scared me quite, a decent amount. And then, at World Cup, you have these times where it's really icy, and sometimes your equipment isn't set up quite right for that, and that's scary business too. Those fences come at you quick. And that happened, I can't say that, I don't remember particular hills, but it happened a handful of times, so yeah, it's been scary, plenty.
Another question. Oh, right here. Come on up. Go Irish.
I'm Andrew and I'm from McCall. And Tommy, what has been your best season in your whole skiing career?
That year one in Sun Valley was a huge highlight back when I was younger. When I progressed to World Cup, that's like being named to the Olympic team is super exciting, crazy nerve-wracking. But my most success was probably in 2012, 11, 12. I had a few different top 15s and 11th in the Super G, 12th in the GS. These were in Innerstoder, Austria, and in Kronstadt, Bansko, Bulgaria. And I got to race on like in Schladming and Kitzbühel, close to qualifying in Kitzbühel when I was in slalom there. And I had a few more top 30s in Super G at Lake Louise and Beaver Creek Super Gs. I actually got 20th in downhill training run, proud of that. Yeah, that was a successful season. I hope we can continue that.
Come on up here, young lady.
I'm Tatum Miner from Sun Valley. And what was your, what was something you wish you knew when you were our age?
Here's a big question. What did you wish you knew when you were her age?
Yeah, I guess I wish I knew that, man, I guess when I was little, like, I'd get through a race, and if it didn't work out right, I got a little upset, and it still happens a little. But I guess I wish I knew that everything's, all part of the journey, all part of the process, and the bad runs make the good runs feel that much better. So I guess I wish I could have seen that when I was your guys' age.
Okay, this is it. Come on up here. Why don't you come up here too, stand right over here, because you want to be next, don't you?
I'm Eli and I'm from McCall, and this is for everybody. Have you had to go to the bathroom so bad I missed a race?
And we're going to have bathroom stories. You guys hear that story? Who's taking that one?
I don't know if it's not necessarily having to go to the bathroom, but I've definitely had a point where I missed the start because I was enjoying the warmth in the lodge and didn't know the start time too well. This is my second World Cup, and I come down the Valles Air France, and I'm like, kind of stop above the start because there's some free skiing, and I'm looking down, like, right? And one of my technicians down there looking up, like, what's he doing? And I ski down to him, stop, and there are like 2 people left. And I just totally missed my start. It was just like, that's it. They don't let you go in World Cup. That's you're DQ'd. And I was devastated. Like, oh my gosh, that was my second World Cup. What am I gonna do? Like, I was feeling good. Life went on, but I probably was had nervous bees. Yeah, I ended up scoring next week in Altamira, so it was made up for it. Bathroom stories?
Bogus Basin. I can't believe I'm actually telling you guys this. I never thought at that point I'd be telling people about this whole crowd of people. I'd always denied that I had to go to the bathroom for a very long time, and then eventually that caught up to me. I think I was probably 7, no, 8. And finally I just look over and I go, I can't hold it anymore, and I was on deck and I just start peeing. and I think my dad was next to me, he just starts covering it up. And I'm just in tears, like I'm peeing my pants and I'm going, and they're like, go, and I'm like, all right. So I just started going. Luckily my mom was at the bottom to, throw my stuff in the dryer for second round. So, yeah, don't let that stop you. Go for second round.
All right, thanks. Come on up with your hand.
My name is William, and I'm from McCall. And have you ever
Okay, we let him. Hey, come on up here, TC, let's go. All right. He's got his notebook out. Watch out. See, he wrote it down, or he was going to forget.
My name is TC, Tyler Chandler. I'm a coach for Sun Valley. First of all, thank you all for coming here and training with us. It's awesome to have you. But my question is, both for Will and Hailey, despite the obvious lack of funding being an independent ski racer, are there any advantages to racing outside the U.S. ski team?
Yeah, I get to come ski with you guys in Sun Valley, right? There's a lot of advantages. I think Hailey would say the same thing. Is really taking full ownership and control of your program, every facet of it, from fundraising to dryland training to on snow and where I'm going to go, when I'm going to ski, where I'm going to work out, when I'm going to work out. When I'm going to fly and travel, I get to control it all, and it's something I think I needed. And in the whole picture of it all, I've learned so much about so many different, like kind of running a little tiny business, I guess, too. Trying to figure out how to make it all work. So there's a lot of good that comes out of going out on your own and doing your own thing. And also, the US ski team is still supportive, and I get to train with them. So it's not like they just kicked me out the door. So yeah.
Yeah, he kind of covered it with, taking full responsibility of really every aspect, even the aspects you didn't know. But mainly it's probably the most rewarding thing I've ever done in my life, is being able to go out there, create something that's mine, and I know at the end of the day that I put absolutely everything I had into making it happen, my motto. You'll see it on my hats, don't worry. And I get to, everything, at the end of the day, I know that I did everything I could, so I can go sleep at night going, hey, I left it out on the hill, so tomorrow I'm going to try and race even faster, especially after Levy. But Aspen's I'm racing this Sunday in Aspen in the slalom, so you guys got to watch a little bit here. When's your next races? Beaver Creek. So watch for these two in Beaver Creek.
Come on back up here. Remember the question.
What's the hardest race you've ever had?
The hardest race you've ever raced.
Dan, I'm going to let you take this one.
I'm not going to talk about my crash, but I am going to talk, let's see, so I blew my knee out, and I was out all of the 2001 season, and then we went into the Olympic year, this in 02 in Salt Lake, and I had a tough time coming back. It was still not fire rate 100%. We came to this one race left, and I was not going to make the Olympic team. And then on top of it, my fist points went real sour. So we had one race left in Adelboden, which is definitely one of the toughest GS hills. And I was starting way back. I was starting like 64, and I got these new skis though. They really gripped, and I was pretty psyched. And I knew I had a chance. And sure enough, like starting way back. You know, came out at a great run, moved into like 15th the first run, and then was second on the second run and moved up to 10th. And then the qualification was that to be top 10 to make the Olympic team. I was 10th and made the Olympic team. It was that was awesome. Now, the second half of that story is that we went back the next year, and I had different skis at this point, and I had a really hard time on my gear up to that point. And same race, I mean, same hill, I'd had this great race the year before, so I thought I was good, and went out of the start, about 5 gates in, hit an icy patch. I went from arcing to my teeth hitting the ice at going about 50, and it knocked all 6 of my front teeth out. And yeah, I mean, well, I never went to the dentist. I actually just kind of put them back in, but that was probably the hardest race I ever had with that.
Okay, thank you. All right, so I think I'm getting a line over here. So I got 1, 2, 3. Is this the line? Yep. If you already had a question? One question right now for now. Thank you, though. I really like your enthusiasm. But we're going to try to expedite this, all right? You're next. Come on, step on up. And we'll take just a few more questions after this pack. No more lining up, though. Green jackets last, because we want to get maybe some people in the back. And then we're going to have to wrap it up. So, can you introduce yourself for me?
I'm from Sun Valley and I'm Anna Ferris. What is a piece of advice that you would give like all the kids on the ski team?
Have fun and keep having fun and keep loving skiing. I mean, that's the whole key. That's why we're all here. I mean, I can't believe how many people are here, and it's all because we love skiing. So love skiing and have fun. I think that's the best piece of advice I can give you.
I'm River Woodruff, and I'm from McCall. And my question is, what is the most picturesque, beautiful start you've ever been at?
Hey, aren't you from Boise? Gosh, I mean, okay, for me personally, there's one World Cup Ultimate that's in the Italian Dolomites that's, yeah, for me is bar none. It's amazing, huge red cliffs. When that sun rises, it's pretty awesome. It definitely makes you really psyched to be skiers.
Ultimate is rad. Ski racing in New Zealand, like looking out onto the fields there it's pretty cool. It kind of looks like an old train, like a train set that you have like, when you're a little kid. I don't know if anyone else has one of those, but yeah. So ski racing in New Zealand.
Portillo, Chile. You look straight across at some cliffs, big mountains. There's a lake down in the valley. It's beautiful. Jackson Hole is one of my favorite starts too.
Yeah, there's a lot of them. Probably the best memory I have of the start gate. I roomed with Megan McJames, if any of you guys know her. She does really well in World Cup too. She had this playlist of about three songs, usually like pop songs or whatever, and one of them, I can't remember the song right now, probably Lady Gaga or something like that. And I remember just hearing it nonstop, just over and over, and then I get into the start at World Championships in Val d'Isère, France. And I can hear it because it just drops, and you can see the finish and everything from the start. And I just hear that song blasting. And I was like, oh, I know this song. I got a little too amped up. I made it about 8 gates. Got back in the course, but those first 8 gates didn't have a chance, so.
Sava, I'm from Sun Valley, and what was your favorite race?
definitely have to say the Olympics in Salt Lake. And part of it's obviously because it's the Olympics and you it's kind of the thing that you always dream about growing up as a ski racer and got to be a part of that. The other part of it was so close to home and having so many fans, friends there to watch was really awesome.
That's enough.
I'm Logan, I'm from Sun Valley. And how old were you when you started to ski?
2.
11 months old. 2.
2.
I'm Luke Bernog and I'm from McCall, and I was wondering, what is the most important thing to help you to get to where you are today?
Working hard, getting strong, having fun the whole time, wanting to go fast, just remembering to enjoy the feeling of it. That's kind of, that's kept it going.
Thank you.
I'm Will, and I'm from Boise. McCall. What is the worst thing that has happened to you ski during a race?
Did you guys get to hear that? What's the worst thing that happened to your ski or skis in a race?
I was at World Champs in Schladming for the last World Championships 2 years ago, and coming down the last part of the downhill in the super combined, and my legs were a little tired, and I tried to stuff it into the gate, and my legs gave out, and I fell really hard, but my ski shot up probably, no joke, like 20, 30 feet in the air, and then came and landed down, and my body kept going down the hill, and I slid all the way through the finish, so everyone cheered pretty loud about it because it was a cool crash. And then I grabbed my ski, and it was totally broken and snapped in half, so that was the worst thing that ever happened to my ski when I fall.
All right. Okay. Do we have any questions just from, first of all, McCall? Boy, I tell you what, McCall, they are not afraid to ask questions in McCall. Do we have anyone back here? Red jacket, please. And young lady in blonde, please come up. Anyone else back there? Anyone? Back there? Anyone? You in the green shirt, come on up here. And at the stairs, that's it. Come on up. Let's get all you guys up here, we'll wrap this thing up. You've been fantastic. Let's give a big round though. Let's get it warmed up for these guys. We hopefully enjoy this and get some energy out of this last question.
I'm Libby. I'm from Sun Valley. And I was wondering how important you think the mental part of ski racing is.
I mean, there's a lot of different components that come into it, but the last part is the mental game, and I think you can do a lot of training, just not only physically, technically when you're like this up here, but at the same time you are trying to train your brain into certain patterns, right? So that when you get into a race, you have those really built in. But at the end of it all, racing is not training. It's something entirely different, and each person, it's pretty individual. What's going to work for you? So you really have to explore it, and it's going to be good and bad, and try to put as much good together as you possibly can, and try to do as much on your own. If you need some assistance with it, then you pursue that. But yeah, it's a huge part of it.
You can train your focus, and focus can be like a muscle, so the more you practice it, like we ski down 30-second courses, and then like 40-second courses, and then a 60-second course. The more you do that, the longer you're able to concentrate, so you can do that outside of skiing too, just like little focus exercises. And when you're training, simple cues, like keep them less than 4 words, like hands up. Keep it simple, and 1 or 2 at a time.
That's great words of wisdom. One thing I can say, because it is a great topic, and we're all different ages, but it's, just remember, the beginning of the mental game is bringing your brain to the game. All right, so attention and focus. All right, be in the present when you're training. Okay, so you can do that at a young age. You have to have desire and really focus in for the time that matters. There's plenty of fun time as well, and the training should become fun. And when you progress, it's a heck of a lot of fun. So focus, focus, focus.
Hi, I'm Ian Swanson from Bogus. Have you ever needed that extra hour in bed so badly that you missed a race?
You got the question? Have you ever needed that little extra sleep where you just didn't go to the race? Anybody? You never slept in? Tommy's usually late, but he hasn't missed it. So, no one's missed a start from sleeping in. But I can tell you from experience, being at a lot of camps with a lot of good skiers, they're not always up right away. Okay, thank you.
I'm Ridley, I'm from Sun Valley. And do you guys do like anything at the start of the race, like at the start, that like gets you pumped up for the race or just ready for the race?
I usually kind of just, I do a little quick feet routine and run around a little bit, and then right before I get into the gate, I hit myself in the head really hard. I know that sounds stupid, but it kind of gets me going, so that's what I do every time. You know, everyone's got their things.
Not too hard.
You still gotta be able to sleep. I get all warmed up and make sure my body's ready to go, and like keep my heart rate kind of going, warm it up, and calm it down. And like a couple people before the start. And I gotta do the opposite. I calm really down and kind of try to relax. I'm really excited, so I calm down and then let it go, so that I can fully react.
I'm the one kind of dancing around, singing, keeping loose, because I do have to kind of bring it down a little bit. I can get really intense and then start every single turn all the way down way too early. So I try and calm it down by just kind of relaxing, staying loose, and really, yeah, I'll be the one just kind of dancing around. And of course, we all have our, quick feet routine. I don't hit myself in the head, but I do, no.
Thank you.
I'm Ian from Bogus, and I was wondering, what's the dumbest thing you've done with your teammates at a race or a training camp?
I mean, I've always just been like, right perfect little angel, so I'm... Right, Tommy? Me and you've never got in trouble.
Okay, next.
I'm Kaya, and I'm from Sun Valley, and my question is, what is the most important thing that you've learned that's helped you most in your skiing career and in life in general? The most important thing you've learned that's helped you the most in your skiing career and in life in general.
I mean, I'll just try to keep it simple. Like, I think skiing really teaches perseverance, and it's a very hard sport. It is really difficult. Coaches talk all the time about getting your hips forward, up and forward, ankles bent, and all this stuff. And all the ski wants to do is get away from you, But having the perseverance to continue to pursue that is that's one big component of that's huge. Another, and a lot of you probably experienced this, but injuries are a big part of the sport, and again, be able to persevere, and push through that, and deal with it, and go through all the PT and rehab and get strong again, and then get back on skis, and it's a tough sport. It's kind of scary, and just dealing with that mentally and just pushing through and getting back to where you were at 100%. It teaches you a ton about that. I don't know what else would do more, actually.
Perseverance is amazing. We could keep doing this all night, but we're going to have to wrap it down, okay? We got to move on, right, Scotty? So, I'm sorry if we didn't get to all your questions. Did you guys enjoy meeting these people? It's a tremendous resource to have this crew here skiing whenever you have an opportunity. Whether it's here or on the road, whether you're going to watch a race, you just happen to show up somewhere where there's high-level skiers training, take the opportunity to introduce yourself. They're good people. Ask them questions, all right? Learn about what you love to do so you can apply that to what you do, all right? So thanks for coming out. Pardon me. We got Will. Will wants to wrap things down.
Well, I just wanted to say, I'm going to be here a couple times this winter, and I've been skiing around here, and some of you guys just totally ditched me on the chairlift ride. So, I don't bite. I actually like conversation. So if you guys want to ride the chairlift, swing on up there with me whenever you get a chance, all right?
Yeah, and let's not forget, Dane Spencer's right here. Huge resource. I'm telling you, this guy had an amazing World Cup career not too long ago. So, keep it alive, all right, before he does forget it, all right? No, thank you so much. Thank you all for coming up and do this. I'm going to do a small presentation for parents and any athletes who want to stay, but more importantly, this is a time to socialize and get to know parents and coaches here in our program.